Good morning. Welcome to the River Talk, brought to you here at the River Affair Estate. It's been a few months since I've done one of these. However, I figured it's about time. Good news is that based on feedback from my wife and daughter, I have decided to shorten these considerably. I've been told 30 minutes is a long time to listen to me talk, and I have to agree with them. I created the River Talks a while ago for a couple reasons. Number one, I wanted to get some ideas and some interest in a book I've been working on about living with intention, living with purpose. And the River Affair Estate, what my wife and I have set up at our beautiful home here, is for the same reason. It's to live lives, simple, intentional living, through natural foods, through loving the simple things in life. So today, what I want to talk about is peace, how to find peace. I think it's a great topic. I wanted to get this out before Christmas, peace on earth and all that, but I just got delayed with different things. So, and when you're talking about peace, I want to reference two writings, two things that after reading them, I found very interesting how well they fit together. I'm a big fan of Eckhart Tolle and The Power of Now. And if you haven't read him, I suggest you read some of his works. Fascinating on how to look at life. The second piece of work that I related to recently is the Serenity Prayer, which I've always found fascinating and very deep, and I'll get to that in a few minutes. If I had to give a very brief synopsis of The Power of Now, it would be this, that most, possibly all of the problems you encounter are because you're not focused on the now. You're living in the past or you're worried about the future. Think of all the negative emotions you have. If you're angry, it's because you're angry at something that happened in the past. Whether it was a minute ago, an hour ago, a month ago, a year ago, it's in the past. If you're feeling guilty about something you did, it's something you did in the past. If you're resenting something, it's because of something you did in the past. If you're stressed, stress is caused by worrying about something that hasn't happened yet, worrying about the future. None of these emotions, these negative emotions, guilt, anger, resentment, and stress, none of them occur in the now. And if you can live in the now, all right, and again, it's very brief synopsis. But let's think about all these things destroy peace, destroy your serenity. So if you could stop dwelling in the past and stop worrying about the future, you can find peace. And that's what the Serenity Prayer says. And if you're not familiar with the name, you know the words. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, I like to think of this less as a prayer and more as a roadmap. I should say a treasure map. It's a map to find peace, serenity, if you could follow it. First words, God grant me. And if you're strong in prayer, believe in the power of prayer, great, because it worked. But just know this has to come from within you. It has to come from yourself. God can help you get there, but you've got to do it yourself. The serenity to accept what I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Relating this back to Eckhart Tolle, what can you change? You can only change things now. I can't change what happened yesterday or the day before or a year ago or a week ago. It's impossible unless you can time travel. It's impossible to change the past. You can only change things now. So if you're thinking about it, if you're angry about something that happened yesterday, somebody did something to you, you're angry, somebody at the store, you're angry at a friend, or you feel guilty the way you treated somebody, what are your options to find peace? Number one, do something about it. You can't change what happened, but you can call that person, talk to that person, make amends, find out what they were thinking, why there was an issue. But you could do something and find the courage to do something about it. That's the only way you're going to find peace other than accepting it. And if you don't have the courage to make a change, to do something, to make things right, then your other option is accept or surrender. Let it go. Let it go. It's not, why make yourself miserable now over something that had already happened? It's done with. It's over with. The only person you're affecting, the only person you're hurting is yourself. So either accept it or fix it. Those are your options. Same thing with the future. You're worried about something that's going to happen. Maybe you're taking a trip. Maybe you have a meeting with the boss. Worried about something in the family. You're worried about anything in the future. Right? The time to stress, the time to worry about it is not now, unless you can do something about it now. If there's something you can do now that might change the outcome, that could possibly change what's going to happen, then have the courage to do it. Make preparation. You're worried about a big test at school. Well, if you're that worried about it, then maybe you need to study. You're worried about a meeting with the boss. Well, is there something you could do to make the meeting go better? Do something now. And if there isn't, then accept and stop worrying about it. The time to worry about it is tomorrow, or when that is going to happen. Otherwise, you're stressing yourself for no reason. You're ruining your now moment for something that hasn't happened. And in most cases, when you think about it, it probably won't happen. Most of the stress we have is worrying about possibilities and situations that may not happen at all. You know, how many times have been worried in the past about maybe a negative meeting, the boss is going to fire you or do something, and then you get there and it's completely different. It's not what you thought. So you spent hours or days worrying about something that wasn't even a possibility. And this is, again, relating back to Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. Right? That is where peace can be found, because there are no problems when you're living in the now. And how do you do that? Well, the simple thing is to shut off your mind. Stop thinking, because your mind is connected with your ego. And it's always looking for things that happened in the past or things that are going to happen to focus on. If you could focus on what you are currently doing, whether it's something simple, but give your full attention to what you are doing at the current moment, whether it's driving, whether it's sitting, whether it's brushing your teeth, taking a shower, eating a meal, whatever it is you're doing, do it intentionally. Do it with focus, with purpose. Put all your thought into it. I shouldn't say thought, but just feel it. Experience whatever it is you're doing. Experience the now, because you can't experience the past. You can't experience the future. You can only experience what you're doing. And when you're worried about the past, when you're stressing over the future, you're ignoring whatever it is you're doing now. Your mind is off. You're not paying attention to your life, to your living. And that is what causes stress, and that is what prevents peace or serenity. So, whether through meditation, I find a great way is to go out in nature. I sit and I'll stare at the ducks and the geese behind me, or the river, or at night, a clear sky, look at the stars. To me, nature is relaxing, and it helps me focus. And I blank my mind. And when you can do that, whether it's for a minute a day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, hopefully work on just taking some time every single day and just stop thinking and just experience. Just live, just be. And in those moments, you will find peace. You will find serenity. And the longer you can extend those periods of time of serenity, the more you'll find peace throughout your entire life. So thank you for listening, and I see it's going to be much shorter. Until next time, be well, live intentionally.